making this vid at 5 a.m. I don't know how great of an idea this is to make at 5 a.m., but I know that I need to get it uploaded. So, yesterday I watched this video, and basically the video, the title of the video is Valorant Hates Its Community. Now, I will say, in my opinion, it's it's not 100% true. Like most things are. Like when you make a YouTube video, it should come with criticism, right? So, it's to be expected that people have differing opinions. Now, with these bullet points, I would like to address things that are like in his video and the things that I think need to be addressed. Like I said, based on what he said in the video. Now, I guess I can start with the fact that there is like multiple different communities in Valorant, right? Now, I'm gonna be honest, since there's like a lot of censorship and since there's like a lot of protections and shit like that, I mean, just generally, for some reason, Valorant is, well, I guess since it's a FPS shooter and since it came out during the pandemic, it was very popular or like amongst everyone. It wasn't just popular amongst like PC gamers. It was like popular amongst a lot of people. That's why a lot of people decided to get like a PC and shit like that. They decided to try to switch over because they want to play things like Valorant. Now, the community is very, very broad. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen a community as broad as Valorant's because, like, let's say, like a sports game or something like that, like 2K or Madden, usually you're gonna have like a male audience dominated thing type going. And even games like Call of Duty, they're most likely male dominated. There are a couple like female streamers that are Call of Duty streamers, but the majority of it is male dominated. I would damn near say Valorant's like a 60-40 when it comes to male and female. So, or maybe even a 50-50. So, the community divide comes in where there's like, of course, there's the casual players and there's competitive players. Now, a lot of the time, like toxic communities up there, the community can have really toxic Valorant players that are competitive and very like uh, humble, very kind players that are playing in regular unrated queues and fucking swift play queues and shit like that, right? Just trying to make content. And then there could be the opposite, where there's a community of people that are only toxic in like fucking swift play and ranked play because they're just genuinely trying to be toxic for the hell of it. And when they get in the comp, it's completely different. But my main thing is the fact that the community divide comes when like there's people that only like to play the game to get good, and then there's the people that only play the game to buy like skins or have fun, basically. And those are two different like agendas. One player is getting on the game just to get better every day, constantly trying to try their ass off to get better at the game, compared to somebody that's literally just there to have fun and be casual. Now, again on the bullet list is being casual. I feel like Valorant doesn't really if there's a part of Valorant that would be like it hates its community, I would genuinely say the casual players are the sole people that they don't try to fit the mold around. I mean, generally speaking, I don't know where I heard this from, but I'm pretty sure Riot was saying Valorant is only a competitive shooter. They only care about the competitive side. If it's about like if it has, imagine if they came out with an update. If it fucked up the competitive side but made casual play more fun, they'd revert that bitch the next day. Literally, they would revert that patch the next day, as long as it would make the game more competitive. Like, could you imagine if pre-patch Chamber or I'm trying to think who else was like crazy on launch, Raze having two nades or some shit. Imagine if that was still in the game. It'd be more fun for casual play because it'd be like insane. But at least nowadays, if it's not towards the competitive like integrity of the game, they're not gonna do it. They really don't care. So I feel like Riot and Valorant specifically are catering the game towards competitive players, but the casual fan base, while it's there, it's like hanging on by a thread because it's been 5 years, and another bullet point on the list is the innovation within the game. Now, like I said, when you split the game up between a casual player and a competitive player, they see it two different ways. Me personally, I don't play the game casually. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to rank up every day, every game. So things like skins are just like an afterthought. Of course, I'm gonna play and like want to play with the skins or whatnot, but I'll just pick it up off the ground. You know what I mean? But or I'll buy a skin occasionally because I got to a certain rank where I was literally like, oh, well, I think most people, especially in like FPS games nowadays, that have to like it's a free game and you have to buy into it basically. There's like a threshold where they play the game enough so they'll buy things like skins or like DLCs or shit like that. So, they're actually committed to the game. And I've already hit that threshold a long time ago. So nowadays I buy skins in Valorant, but it's not like it's like my whole personality when it comes to playing the game. But when it comes to the casual players, that's literally almost all they have. Because there's no replay system, so there's no room for creativity. And what, they're just going to play Swift Play 24/7? There's no like in League, there's Earth and stuff like that where it's basically the fun game mode. You know what I mean? Well, I mean there is something like Earth in this game, Valorant, but it's not the best. You know what I mean? It could be better, but you know, generally speaking, they limit those game modes on this game on purpose. They don't try to cater towards that side at all. For example, the snowball game mode has not come out in forever. So, they that was for like the casual player, but then they like completely cut that dry. Like they don't do it anymore. They completely cut that loose. Now, like I said, so what's left for the casual player? Skins. That's it. And if your skins are dookie, your game is dookie in their brain. Because they don't play the fucking game for ranking up. Why would they care about ranking up? They're just trying to have fun. And a lot of the time, that's where some of the criticism comes from because they're like, this game's trash because they don't play comp. Well, comp isn't the best, but it's not the part of the game where they're focused on the most, especially as like a casual player. If you're casual, you just do stuff for fun. Like the best example I can give was when I played League of Legends. When I was playing League of Legends, when I first got my PC, I literally had the time of my life. I had a fucking ball playing the game because I'd get stuff like Hextech chests and new items, new rewards, new champ shards, just constantly playing rewards you, and the gameplay cycle was easy and fun. I play the fun game modes and I never touch comp. I thought about it, but every time like I think about touching comp, I was like, okay, there's too many characters. I'm not doing it. But I was casual. And the casual player base, in my opinion, in League is, I don't know, I'm not gonna lie, dare I say it's one of the best. If you're a casual gamer for any of these other games, you might get shafted. Like you might get fucked. I don't know. They probably don't like you compared to Riot. That's why on to my next point. I'm kind of like bouncing in between points, but he was basically saying Riot is almost as bad as EA. I don't know if he was trying to troll and basically pull in more viewers by saying something outrageous, but I feel like that claim is dumb. In my opinion, I don't know. You can call me like a Riot chill or whatever the fuck. Like, oh, Riot must be oh, you must work for Riot, or are you a Chinese Riot spy? Like, bro, in my opinion, Riot is one of the best gaming companies ever. Even before they had Valorant, I feel like they were one of the best gaming companies I've ever seen be ran. That game, like Riot, had League for what before Valorant? They had it for like 10 years before Valorant, right? And legit, 2 week updates for 10 years straight? That's fucking insane. I come from playing Overwatch and Call of Duty, where the updates were damn near never. You would never catch a like big update in 2 weeks. Like Call of Duty, you'd have to wait for the next DLC to drop to get the new update. Or in Overwatch, they'd patch something, but then like they'd occasionally drop like a little patch, or they drop a patch here or there, and then like, or even like Fortnite. When I was playing Fortnite when it was at its peak, the Fortnite updates started at like, oh, well, two times every or once every 2 weeks. With Fortnite, it'd be once every 2 weeks, but then they started to like slow it down and do like maybe one update every 3 weeks, and then they started to really take a forever, like towards uh what is it like what is it Fortnite season like 10 and stuff like that. They started to really slow it down before like the chapter 2 bullshit. But out of all the games I've ever played, I've never played a game that's been more fun and updated more and treated with more care than Riot. Legit. Like you feel like you're a stepchild in every other game, and like they don't listen to you. But I feel like at least with, especially with League, like him saying in his video that Riot's as bad as EA, dog, I could name almost two or three other companies that are as bad. Like his picture had EA and Blizzard in the background or whatever the fuck. But literally, people that play 2K are getting robbed. Genuinely. That's why I don't play that game anymore. I thought it was fun when I first played it, but then, I mean, I still thought they were robbing me back then. Now they're really robbing you in 2025. And then another game nowadays, still owned by the same company, Take Two. Pretty sure, like Take Two and Activision. Call of Duty. They really don't like you anymore. That game is going downhill. That game is trash, if I'm being honest. Because I remember when you used to pay $15 for DLC and I thought it was bad. Thought it was bad then. And I was like, man, I'm spending $15 on this DLC just so I can get one zombies map? This is terrible. I was like, for these bum ass multiplayer maps where three of them are going to be bad, or like one of them is guaranteed to be bad within the map pack. And then, but yeah, I've played worse games. Like, I don't know. Let me see. Is there a different company that I can think of I've played with? I mean, I don't know. Apex. I haven't really played Apex that much. I'm trying to think. If there's a game that hasn't gotten like consistent updates. Well, I guess you could say I played R6 for a little while, but I don't know. R6 always had its problems. I mean, Rainbow would just like have just something fucking terribly overpowered in it all the time. Whether it was Clash, whether it was like Blackbeard, whether it was Jackal, whether it was Lion. Like, I don't know. When they release characters, they make them busted as shit. Fucking Blitz running around the whole entire building with his flash, destroying people. People like Ash being a 3 speed. Oh, my bad. Maybe like a 5 speed, running in the house before they even spawn. You know what I mean? Like, just crazy shit. Even though Rainbow was fun and they did consistently update it, I'm pretty sure, it was just buggy and broken. But I mean, that with that game, you'd probably expect that type of thing. But yeah. Now, like I said, I listed out the bad companies. Like I said, the skins is damn near all the casual fan base has to look forward to, except for like maybe a new character. But then when that new character is gone, it's like it's GG. And like I said, I don't even know how you could be a fan of Valorant when Like, I don't know how you could be a casual fan of Valorant. I don't think that's even a thing. I don't think there's such thing as a casual Valorant fan. Like, genuinely. That, like, oh, I only look forward to the characters coming out, the maps coming out, and the skins coming out. Like, I don't know that type of person that just doesn't play competitive. And if I'm being honest, okay, I'll say that like, for later. But like I was saying, the next thing is the innovation within Valorant. Valorant, I try to remember when was the last time the Swift Play update came out, because that was when they actually tried to take action to help out the casual player base. Because beforehand, they only could E-date in unrated. And now you don't have to E-date in unrated anymore. You can just do it in Swift Play. They've been doing this cringe shit for forever. So instead of playing in your comp games and E-dating, or in your unrated games if you're practicing something and E-dating, now they can just go to Swift Play. But I think most games need something like that. They need like a core gameplay that's very fast, and it's like a 10-minute game, 15-minute game. So when they want to play, they can play to have fun and just get out. Play to have fun, get out. You don't need to stay in the match for like 60 fucking minutes like you do in a regular Valorant game. Um. Oh yeah. Also in the video, he was talking about how Valorant has made more than League, and League's been out for like almost 13 years, and Valorant's been out for almost 5 years now. I think sometime in the summer it will be out for 5 years. But here's the thing: League of Legends is it started in what 2009, but you have to be on a certain cornerstone of the internet to find League content, especially before the pandemic. To be able to find League content, like what I would end up having to find League content, I would watch Tyler One play like a I watched Tyler One basically play like any other game besides League, and then within his Rage compilation, it would be him playing League. And then, but I mean, the thing is League is not easy on the eyes, in my opinion. I feel like MOBAs are not easy on the eyes, because you just don't know what the fuck you're looking at. Because like in the grand scheme of things, a MOBA is literally one big map, right? It's one big fucking map, and legit, it's hard to depict anything on the map because you're just in this little square and you just don't know where your character's at. So you could be like in mid lane, this could be you, and your character is literally like one tiny little fucking box on the map, and the map is so vast that it's like I don't know. I think generally MOBAs are hard on the eyes compared to things like FPS shooters. FPS shooters has been the most popular genre since the beginning of fucking gaming. Literally. Halo, Call of Duty, Gears of War, fucking anything. Legit. Even with CS, it's an FPS game. They're gonna make more money than a fucking MOBA when you can never find League of Legends ever if you are not on PC unless you watch somebody else accidentally that's like famous play it. Like literally, as a kid, I've never been recommended League content, not once. And I've been on the internet for fucking forever. The only time, like, I knew of League, I've heard of League, because it was on Twitch all the time, and it's always at the top. But I never cared. But yeah, Valorant is gonna make more money than League, especially since they're up pricing skins now. And I'm not gonna lie, League has lost a lot of money with those Hextech chests whenever Overwatch dropped loot boxes. So, I mean, I don't think Valorant is going to ever touch loot boxes, if I'm being honest, since I'm pretty sure the game is owned by Tencent, and in China they have a specific rule where you cannot sell loot boxes. You cannot do it. It's not possible. Because in Overwatch they had to take that shit out, I remember. And they said no more loot box games, or else people in China cannot play the game because it's technically gambling. But I don't know the stipulations. Some games just put the shit back in there, like Overwatch. They don't give a fuck. They just threw the fucking chest back in there. or even League. I mean, League is technically owned by Tencent and had the Hextech chest in there for fucking forever, and they're the people that put the chests in there to help their game. But I'm not gonna lie, the ecosystem of the game with Hextech chests, imagine that shit being in Valorant, where you just got like parts of the gun. You know what I mean? Part or like a weapon blueprint for like, oh, let's say you want the Reaver Vandal. There's you get three parts that you need to get from a Hextech chest where it's the barrel, the body of the gun, and then the stock, and then you get the skin, blah blah blah. That actually wouldn't be that bad. It'd actually suck for players, but it would not be a bad way to market the game. And then whenever a new skin came out, you had to get it out of orbs, and if you bought the orbs or bought the battle pass with the orbs, you'd be able to unlock the weapon, and you wouldn't have to get three different parts. Or you could just still get three different parts. But I digress. The whole point is, Valorant has made more money over time because it's a more popular genre, of course. And at the same time, it's trendy. Fucking League is not trendy, and it will never be trendy, bro. It's fucking League of Legends. I hate to say it. If you were to take um any famous person and try to get them to play a video game, if they look at a MOBA, they're gonna look at you crazy. If you give them to play an FPS game, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is like GoldenEye, this is like Call of Duty," depending on how old they are. And that's why, like, games like League are just not doomed to fail, but they're looked at differently. They're a stepchild to the gaming community, and that's why it hasn't made as much money as Valorant has made in the past couple of years, because they apparently both made 15 billion. But it just makes sense for Valorant to make more money. Would you expect Dota to make more than fucking CS? No. I would expect CS to blow fucking Dota out of the water with how much money they've made. Let me see if I can prove my point right now. Okay, no, don't open that. Um, CS:GO total revenue versus Dota 2 total revenue. CS:GO has generated significantly more revenue than Dota 2. I mean, yeah, that just makes sense. Because, I mean, FPS games is where it's at. Okay, is there like any way I can just get a regular number? I hate this. But yeah, I mean, it should just speak for itself, if I'm being honest. But basically, it's no shit that your fucking MOBA isn't gonna make as much money as your FPS game. Okay, and that just means that Valorant can have more funding over time and the game could get better. But I'm not gonna lie. Let's say something like the replay system. I don't really have that up here, but the replay system, I'm not gonna lie to you. I genuinely could not fucking tell you why the replay system is not out. They show all these dev videos. Oh, this is broken and this is broken and we have to work on this and that and blah blah blah. Bro, come on. Come on now. We know a replay system. There's like fucking 7 other games that have a replay system. How does yours not work? Just ask them, yeah, if I'm being honest. But like, I don't know. The replay system not being in the game is still wild, if I'm being honest. And like I said, it kills creativity. It'll kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, it might resurrect the casual player base like it did in Fortnite. Because I remember when creative dropped, and when creative dropped, I'm pretty sure replay system dropped almost at the same time, and it kind of rezzed the game a little bit, like it helped it, but it wasn't crazy. Like it got like an extra spike, but like things like chapter 2, and then like the couple of battle passes after chapter 2 is what helped it spike, and how they use like popular media to help their game spike and do better again. So it's completely different from Valorant. And now, I will say, as a longtime Valorant player, that these fucking players, when they play the game, part of the reason why these people are toxic is because I won't necessarily, you can call it burnout, like you can call it burnout, or you can call it just getting tired of the game and it's stale. Cause like legit, if you feed a dog the same food every single day, they're going to fiend when they see you with like your Chick-fil-A or your fucking Chipotle. When they see you eating that type of food, they're gonna be like, you eat different food every day. No wonder why you like eating. Everything is different every single time you eat it. So when the dog has to, uh, time to clock in. I gotta eat this dry food again, the same dry food. As soon as they get that little taste or like see another game thriving, basically, they're gonna be like, why can't my game do that? Why can't he give me some fries every now and then? So the majority of the time, you're gonna burn your players out if you don't add anything different to the game. You know what I mean? Like I said, games like League, I feel like if I were to play League right now, I would never get tired of it. Cause when there was Hextech chests, I would constantly play the game just to get the Hextech chests. And I'm not gonna lie, I should have spent money on League so I could buy the battle pass so I can get the orbs. Cause that was fun. That was honestly fun. Every week, trying to log in and do my battle pass rewards so I can get new skins, like and shit like that. Like all my friends are doing it and I never did it because I never bought a battle pass. I was like, bro, I'm missing out. And plus, they give you so much value. You get so many orbs. But I mean, it's all like kind of luck based, which is kind of the bad part about it. But you know, I feel like that's fun because you don't have to grind comp. You can grind like a fucking casual game and still have fun too, and grind out your battle pass and get skins. Because that's literally what the casual fan base is built off of. Even things like lore now, what they added in the league, even though lore had or league had lore back in the day. But the Valorant players are 100% burnt out because, like I said, the innovation they haven't really added anything crazy different until they added the swift play game mode, and they made it, and that was in 2023. So they made it accessible for more players. You know what I mean? More people can play in different ways. Because like I don't even know what is like a good innovation that impacted Valorant. I couldn't think of one at all except for the Swift Play update. I couldn't tell you if I'm being honest. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't think Valorant hates its community because they constantly update their game. They're constantly trying to make it better. They're constantly pumping out content. They're doing updates to the game, changing fucking agents, trying to balance it, even though it's not in the best state right now. They're trying to balance it. They're trying to fix it. They're trying to make new characters. They're trying to make new maps. They're trying a lot of things. You know what I mean? But they're not really executing, which is their problem. They used to execute a lot on a lot of different things. If something was broken, they chopped that shit down. If something was, if the game was getting stale, they'd switch it up. They changed the meta. They changed the characters. They changed how they play. They changed the maps. Now, while they do this still, like change the maps and change the characters, like I said, it's been the same as game modes and everything for literally 2 years, there has not been an update that's been significant enough to be able to say it's done something in 2 years. Like all of 2024, I feel like Valorant has been the same game every day, literally. Because when you get on, it, I mean, they added like the loading screens and shit like that, but that didn't do anything. I remember they never had that. Where like you loaded in and seen like VCT, and at the same time they had the VCT update. Oh, now you can buy your favorite VCT bundle. Fuck no. I'm not gonna let you cop out on that. Of course they added like crazy things like that. You could say that's innovation. Other fucking games have that, bro. You know what I mean? Like you need to add more shit to your game. And like I keep seeing in the game files, I keep seeing in the game files constantly. There's leaks that there's supposed to be some type of chest or whatever in the fucking game, or some type of trading system, and I know they're not gonna do that goofy shit because they're gonna lose a lot of money, even though they don't need it, and it's an FPS game. And if you were to add those to the game, it actually make your game 12 times better and a lot funner for casual players. Like even things like competitive players, because like there's no reason to play the game if I'm being honest, except for to get better and to get a higher rank if you haven't already got there. And I mean, I don't think that's up here on the bullet list, but playing Valorant, there's honestly no incentive. There's no reason for you to play. If you were a new player, I feel like Valorant wouldn't be bad because you're gonna find everything like exciting, but most people have that. Since it's a popular game, most people have already played Valorant. That's why games like Marvel Rivals are doing good right now. Marvel Rivals is a new, fresh game, and everybody thinks it's good. But if Marvel Rivals stayed the same for 2 or 3 years straight, people would still call it decent, but they'd be like, bro, this game hasn't done anything. Like, sure, I might be getting free skins and whatever, free whatever, but the game is still the same. You know what I mean? Like, they got a lot of maps, they got a lot of characters, they got a lot of variety. But imagine if the game just stayed the same for 2 years straight. People would be like damn near outraged. They'd be like, the fuck? Why is my game not changed? Thought that was the whole point. But yeah, trying to come to a close, but in the end of the day, I will say this game is free, bro. I've never found a game that's better that is free. Legit. And like I said, I still think games should make their game free if it's multiplayer. Multiplayer should be free. They should be handing out people access to their game just to play their multiplayer. So I'm looking at you, Call of Duty, $70 to buy everything, and then multiplayer's the caveat. But oh, you can play Warzone for free. Fuck that. No, your multiplayer is shit anyways. Just let it be released to the public for free, bro. Like what? Your zombies is free. You just gotta buy the entire game. You know what I mean? I'm not even gonna rant about that. But yeah, I'm trying to think. What was my original statement? Oh yeah, if you were a new player playing Valorant, the game wouldn't be bad. If I'm being honest. But it's the fact that the same players get on and they see the same shit every fucking day. And if you play every day, or if you don't play every day, and you see it from like an outside perspective, you'll be like, bro, what did they do to the game? Except for add some characters and change the maps. You know what I mean? People just be like, what the fuck? This is the same exact game as last year, which it basically is. But that's what I'm saying. The I feel like for a free game, okay, for a free game, they're doing pretty good. You know what I mean? They made 15 billion off a free fucking game. I don't even want to look at Call of Duty's revenue, so I pray they're not making money, even though they are. Like. Would you rather spend like the other thing that I had on my list was the worst of all the games, right? Out of all the games that are like the best bang for your buck, when it comes to like multiplayer that aren't single player. Because honestly, the only games that are good nowadays are single player games. They have like good strength behind them. You know what I mean? And like a solid foundation. A lot of the multiplayer games are, I won't call it slop, but they're pretty fucking bad. You're just picking which poison you want to taste. You know what I mean? Like which one is either more poisonous, less poisonous, or has like a bitter taste or has like, a sweet taste to it. You're still drinking the fucking poison regardless. All the multiplayer games have the same shit. Like if you were to play Overwatch 2, that's still not good. If you were to play Call of Duty like Warzone or something like that, that's still not good. If you were to play Marvel Rivals, like I will admit, the only games I can get behind that I feel like have like a good solid standing right now is probably Marvel Rivals and Fortnite and League. Especially, I don't know what's going on with the Hex Tech chess thing. I don't know if they're in the game or out of the game. I think they're out of the game, but if League pre Hex Tech chess, like pre League Hex Tech chess, Fortnite and Marvel Rivals, the best games you could possibly play on a PC, I guess you could say. But the best games out, honestly. But like I said, nowadays when it comes to multiplayer games that everybody are trying to play, you need to pick the best of the worst. You're not really picking the best of what like is the best. That's only with single player games. You're gonna find quality over quantity the majority of the time. You know what I mean? But multiplayer games, you're you're not gonna really find quality. You're just gonna find like, you know, a free game that is like, oh, buy my skins. That's how half the games like monetize. But like I said, that's why I think free games are smart. You literally just say, "Oh, my game is free. It's multiplayer. We're going to make all the money off you just by skins alone, and we're going to supermarket fucking pressure you into buying them." Compared to, oh my god, dude, Call of Duty is so trash. You spend $70 on your fucking game, and then you have to spend 10 on a battle pass, and oh, if you want Snoop Dogg or the Nicki Minaj skin, you gotta spend more money. Oh my god. Or if you want a new weapon skin to make your fucking gun fly, you need to spend more money. Oh my god, that game's dog shit. Compared to Valorant, where you just have to spend the upfront price of a small loan for fucking $5 million to buy a skin bundle. I'd take that more than fucking literally leveraging my whole entire ancestry's wealth just to buy fucking one Call of Duty skin and just to play their game. But yeah, I don't think Valorant is a bad game. In the context of what games are out, I would rather be playing this game way more than fucking, like I said, Call of Duty or like, I don't know. I was gonna say Rainbow, but I don't think Rainbow's doing that bad, if I'm being honest. I would not want to play CS. You talk about toxic community. Oh wow. Oh wow. Talk about toxic. At least people try to keep it cordial on Valorant. You have some fucking 13-year-old Russian kid fucking yelling slurs at you while playing CS, bro. Like what? How are they on your servers? VPN, bro. Legit. But generally speaking, Valorant is not bad. It just depends on the life cycle that you're coming in from, and depending on how long you've been playing, that'll depend on whether or not it's ass. And yeah, I guess that's just it. I don't think Valorant is that bad. It could be worse, but like I said, I think Valorant deserves this type of criticism from this guy's video. I know it's like I'm 40 minutes into recording this and I'm saying that, but generally speaking, getting this type of like video, like making this type of video, is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? But I'm just like trying to call it as I see it. Valorant is, like I said, not that bad of a game, but it has a lot of problems. But out of all the games, it's not the worst. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think, like I said, it could be worse. But that's not like a good mindset. Like I said, the criticism should be taken by Valorant, and they should fix their shit. All these fucking bullet points I put down, they need to see how their game is operating and how to fix this shit and how to pivot. So in 2025, not 2026, 2025, they can fucking change the way their game is shaped. Because right now, it's not really cutting it, if I'm being honest. Like I said, I don't even know how you could be a casual fan, let alone trying to be like competitive every single day in and out when you fucking play the exact same thing you played last year, just with a different like reskin on top of it. It like I don't know. But well, know what? I'm not even gonna edit this shit. I'm literally just gonna post it. I'm gonna be lazy. If nobody watches it, whatever. I don't care. I need to get my thoughts out. But if somebody does watch this bitch and ends up making it through the 40 fucking minutes, comment, bro. I want to know if I'm tripping. It's better to have discourse. You know what I mean? Say if I'm wrong. Say if I'm not not preaching. Okay, it's completely fine. If there is a comment on this, which I highly doubt there is, I'll probably respond. But like I said, it's now 5:51 a.m. All right, I'll link the guy's video in the description. Peace out.